interest in our company and the position, I would like to use this interview productively to learn as much as possible about you in a relatively short period of time. I'm going to lead our conversation with questions, but you are more than welcome to jump in and to ask me whatever you might consider useful about the company or about the role. I'm also going to take a few notes on my laptop, and I hope that isn't too distracting. Let's start with tell me about yourself question. Who are you? What have you studied so far? What has been your experience?
So currently I am a student and I am pursuing a liberal arts degree with a political science focus. And in Vermont State Colleges, they have a Pathways program, which is the 3-to-1 law program, that the final destination is Vermont law, where you can pursue a justice degree. Now, I have spent my 20s discovering who I am, what I'm passionate about, and what I'm good at. And through that time, I have discovered I'm passionate about advocacy, but specifically within the judicial system. And also that as I found this interest and started diving into this career field, I found that I was obtaining this information with ease and that I was able to apply it and really understand it without much difficulty. So it made sense that I had found my niche and I decided to pursue it with everything that I have.
So why did you choose that particular major and at that particular school?
So at the time, it was the most accessible educational option to me. And so I went for it. And when I went for it, I was able to connect with advisors who gave me so much knowledge about the programs that they had to offer and how to best reach my career goals. And that's where I discovered this Pathways program. And so I committed to it because the Pathways makes those transitions easy and it's smooth in getting to my educational goals and my career goals. I know that I'm going to get to where I need to be by doing X, Y, and Z. So that is why I have chose this educational path and also the degree programs that I have.
Interview, I guess you thought about what you do the best. What are your biggest strengths? And how do you think our company would benefit from them?
Yes, so I am a detail-oriented person. I am a critical thinker, and I'm very organized. And then also I have this little quirk where I really love paperwork and I love documentation. I love reading and I love writing. It's something that I actually oddly enjoy because most people don't. However, that makes me the perfect candidate for this career field because I like it, I enjoy it, I'm good at it, and I want to spend the time doing it. And how that transfers over to the job is I'm able to prepare these thorough case files that can be presented to the court and assist in favorable outcomes for our clients, because case preparation and the legwork is really where all of it happens. And you need to be prepared and you need to be organized to be able to present an effective case to the court.
Yes. What do you have identified as your greatest and biggest improvement areas? And what have you done to improve them so far?
So I would say that I have a lot of educational requirements to meet. I have a lot of knowledge to learn and a lot of knowledge to gain because there's so much to learn when it comes to this field. And that has been addressed by me really diving into my education and diving into any opportunities I have to learn and to apply the information and just study up. The other thing that I would say is a development area for me is my verbal communication. I am a very strong written communicator. I've gotten comfortable with written communication, therefore I haven't practiced my verbal communication as much. And I recognize that was a weakness of mine, and it was essential for me to have. So I have taken the opportunities to learn about verbal communication and effective communication. I have also consciously chose to pursue opportunities that push me outside my comfort zone, where I would specifically be practicing the skill of improving my verbal communication. And so by constantly putting myself in positions where I have to practice it, I am improving, and it's only going to get better with time and more opportunities and more avenues for me to be able to use the skill.
Why are you interviewing with me today? What made you apply for this job, and why do you want to work here?
So, I also, in my research and talking to different people in the field and how they got to where they wanted to be in their career goals and aspirations, have discovered in the state of Vermont that there's more than one avenue to get to the end goal of practicing law as an attorney. And so one of those avenues is to actually work as a paralegal, and there is no necessarily formal education requirement. You can do it if you're given the opportunity through somebody. And then doing training through your employer and through the state, through time in those trainings and on the job experience, you actually can get to a position where you can have a seat and be able to take the bar so that you can practice law and move out of that paralegal position into an attorney position. So I recognize that there's different avenues and that formal education is not the only route. And I also would like, while I'm pursuing my formal education, to be able to apply the knowledge that I'm learning, because that's really how you end up retaining the most knowledge and the most information, is by taking what you've learned and applying it to real life situation, real life cases, and real life clients. And by doing that, you're just growing and becoming the best that you possibly can be so that you can reach your career goals and help others.
Tell me about a time when you were in charge of a project with a deadline. Which was the project and how did you meet the deadline?
Okay, so I'll start with some of my strengths. I am a task-oriented person, and I have good time management, and I have commitment to my task. And so through that, I have actually had real life experience where I've been able to create and build cases, and I've actually provided those for you along with my resume to kind of supplement it, to show some of the work that I've already done and how much diligence I've put into it, and these really detail oriented great case files that I have been able to present tremendous cases to the court with. And these case files, you'll see exhibits and the organization and the detail and the critical thinking and all my notes and my thought processes, and not only just my opinions, but me supporting them with actual evidence of fact that can be presented to the court and create a really strong case so that whatever that person is trying to achieve, it can be achieved.
And so tell me about a time when you showed an initiative on the job. When was it and which was the outcome?
So through those cases that I've just mentioned, I had to do a lot of communication in order to get that documentation, in order to build the case, in order to obtain information relevant to the case. And so communication was huge. And I did it through written communication methodically, because through written communication, you're building a case not based on hearsay. It's actual evidence, if you can get that person who wrote it to affirm through testimony that they wrote that and they recognize the document in front of them. So throughout that experience, I had to effectively and strongly communicate through written forms of communication. And it also required me to be prompt, diligent, and thorough. So I went through all my communication with a fine-tooth comb, and I was really committed to the process. And it turned out really well for me because I was able to build a case off of those. And you'll see that that's the foundation of one of the cases that I provided as an example, was that written communication piece, as kind of the narrative, and everything else was just exhibits to support everything that was said in that communication from neutral third parties.
An example of a situation where you had to deal with the conflict at work. What?
So I think generally that conflict is an opportunity to learn, because there's always two sides to every story. So people have different perspectives and different opinions, and I have my one opinion and somebody else has their opinion. We each have supporting facts of to why we came to that conclusion. And I think that conflict is an opportunity to learn. But the key to effective communication that I've learned as I've grown up is that listening to understand is key. Not just listening to respond, but listening to understand. And so you can solve a lot of conflict through effective communication and listening, and choosing your words carefully, and being intentional with what you say, and having the goal in mind that you're looking for a resolution. Now, that being said, this whole job and every experience in this job that I've had thus far, the whole goal is conflict resolution. Like, you're looking for a resolution to a conflict. Two parties cannot agree on something, and they need to come up with a solution. So, that being said, that is the everyday reality for this career field. It's conflict based, and our goal is to reach a resolution to a conflict. And so conflict resolution is key, and I'd say it's one of my strong suits.
Interviewing more candidates, that's why I would like to ask you, why do you think we should hire you? And why do you think we should choose you over other candidates?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And I would say that I am passionate. I am driven. I would say some people would say that I am relentless when it comes to something that I'm passionate about. And that is a fantastic skill to have in life. And along with that, it's dedication. It's dedication to the whole purpose of this job. Not only do I have strong related job skills that allow me to be successful in this field, I also am equally as passionate about helping the people that I'm building the cases for. Because I know that these judgments and these decisions and the outcomes of presenting these to the court for judgment impact these people's personal lives. They impact people on a deeply personal level in many, many areas of their life. Therefore, me being able to help them with my strengths and my talents to assure their freedoms and their rights and their comfortable personal lives is something that I will never grow tired of and will keep me going when cases get hard and they get long and they get tough. That is what really gets me through, because it is a long process and you have to be committed and you have to be dedicated and you have to be passionate about what you do. And I am passionate about reform, and I am passionate about change, and I'm passionate about supporting those who need support. And I know that I have a long way to go, but I'm eager for opportunities, and I'm eager to continue to learn and grow. And I know that I can do it. Anything you ask, I can do it. And if I don't know something yet, I know where to find the information and where to get that information and where to learn it from, so that I can do what you're asking me to do. And I will always be listening, and I will be always willing to learn, and just a really good asset to this firm. And to be able to do the legwork to make everybody else's life easier and happily enjoy it.
Now, do you have any questions for me?
So actually,
Okay.
I have a
Great.
few. So those questions would be, one, I'm wondering what your average caseload is like. And then I'm also wondering what types of cases that you typically litigate. And then the most important question I have is, do you ever delegate low bono or pro bono cases to paralegals to do work experience for these clients under the supervision of a licensed attorney?
Too long ago, and we are evaluating and discussing different profiles internally. I'll be coming back to you with feedback and with the information for the next steps within the next 2 weeks. And if things go according to the schedule, the potential next step planned would be another interview with me and with the department manager. Okay then, thank you very much for coming in. It was a pleasure meeting you, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to be able to speak with you and to be able to share with you a little bit about myself, and hopefully you consider me for the job.